Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns and Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're finally going to be talking about the spell Cure Wounds.
Iconic.
Oh yeah, we've talked about this many times. You bring this one up. But yeah, today we're actually gonna roll up our sleeves and dig in.
That we are.
All right. Before you start your rant, let's hear, what does Cure Wounds do?
Okay. Unbiased. This is just these are the facts. This is a first level spell slot. Cast time of an action. I'm gonna say that again. It has a casting time of an action. You have to touch the creature. The creature regains a number of hit points equal to a D8 plus your spell casting ability modifier. That's going to normally be a +2 or a +3. It has no effect of undead or constructs. You can cast it using a second level or higher slot. If you do, it gets a D8 per slot. So if you cast it at a 3rd level spell, you get 3D8 plus mod. If you cast it as a 9th level spell, they get a bunch of dice. I didn't do the math. Okay.
You're not doing this at a 9th level.
No. God, no. Okay. I'm going to quickly, for the sake of example, reference another spell. And I'm going to do exactly what I just did. I'm going to tell you what it does. It's called Healing Word. Takes a 1st level spell slot. Takes a bonus action to cast. Has a range of 60 feet. A creature of your choice you can see within range regains a D4 plus your spellcasting ability modifier.
But Sam, that's less.
Oh my god, it's a whole 2 dice sizes smaller. It has no effect on other constructs. It has the same scaling garbage. I'm gonna say this right now. There is never a reason to spend higher level spell slots on this. Ever. On either of these. If we do the quick comparison, for the classes that get it, which are Bard, Clerics, and Druids, they get both. Bards, Druids, and Clerics get Healing Word and Cure Wounds. There is no reason to take Cure Wounds over Healing Word. Bob, like you said, but it's bigger. Isn't it better? No.
More hit points.
Calm down. Turns out the difference of a D6 or D8 and a D4 is relatively small. The bulk of what you care about with healing magic is actions. The most important part of 5th edition combat is the quantity of actions your team has versus the quantity of actions your opponent's team has. And the relative weight of those actions. So, for example, a 3rd level cast Fireball doing 86 damage is going to have more weight than 2 goblins making 1 attack roll each. That's a way to think about it, right?
Sure.
So Cure Wounds takes your action to use, and for that cost of also needing to touch the creature, you're getting roughly 2 extra hit points on average.
Mm-hmm.
How much weight does 2 hit points have over having a full action is where we can start. The answer, it does. You don't care about it at all. An extra 2 hit points is not changing the difference even between a single small attack roll. That's within the bounds of a goblin attack roll, hitting and dealing a d6 plus 1 damage. It's 5 and 7, 3 and 5. We're well within the range of still 1 attack is doing the same enough damage to meaningfully drop you, right? In exchange, you now have to waste your whole turn for the most part. You have to be at the creature that is taking the damage that you want to heal, and you have to put yourself in that position to take damage. None of that is worth it. Not even close to worth it. It is. You could be hitting, if you are engaged with them anyway, why not use your action to whack them with your mace? Why not use your action to viciously mock them? Why not use your action to cast any other cantrip? Regardless, in either case, you can't cast other 1st level or higher spells. But the point that I'm trying to demonstrate is that when you have access to Healing Word, there is no reason to cast Cure Wounds. If the main objective is getting creatures off 0, if the main objective is restoring hit points, Cure Wounds is not giving you enough for its cost. Just out the gate compared to every other option that you got at your disposal.
Okay. Like I said, we've talked about this enough, but I have to bring it up. What about outside of combat?
Yeah, okay. Outside of combat, you have a thing called short rests. Healing is in no short supply in 5th edition. The game is built deliberately to make it so groups with no healers can still play relatively similar encounters to those with healers. Active healing magic is by no means a requirement of 5th edition. Your DM will tailor encounters to the resources you have at your disposal. This makes things like Life Domain ghoulish overkill, to the point where I would actually say Life Domain clerics are doing themselves a disservice by doing the Life Domain cleric thing, because you don't really need that excess healing. Healing is at its best whenever you're taking a lethal encounter, bringing somebody up quickly to give them more actions to change the outcome from a victory to, or from loss to victory. Cure Wounds is not going to change a loss to a victory, even whenever it's giving an extra 6 HP to your barbarian before the next fight. You would much rather have a guiding bolt. You would much rather have a bless. You would much rather have a hideous laughter. You would much rather have a meaningfully impactful spell. Even while navigating the world, having an extra puzzle solving tool, having an extra, something as simple as comprehend languages, even something that's like not radically powerful, but something you just be like, crap, I don't know what it's saying. We do now. Even having an access to that kind of effect is well more worth it. A Featherfall is going to be worth a lot more. So many first level spell slots have just a real impact on the game, where spending a spell slot, especially in the low tiers, whenever you would consider doing this kind of magic as opposed to something like mass heal or the other upper level stuff, which have their own problems, but we're not touching on those here. You would almost always rather have some way to interact with the world or a future encounter than 7 extra hit points. It is not worth it. You do not need to do it.
All right. You feel better now?
No.
Got that off your chest? No?
Because I'm sure we're going to be back here every single time we talk about healing magic, because that's just how it is. I will say this. If you're a paladin, you have lay on hands. You don't need this. They don't normally don't get healing word. I feel like it's important to say, well, I don't have access to healing word. What do I do instead? You use your lay on hands, and you don't take a dedicated spell for that, because you're smiting. That's what your spell slots are for. Or protection spells or whatever. Maybe you don't like smite. I don't know. Don't play paladin if you don't like smite. That's Sam. That's tired Sam being irritable. The other option is Rangers, and Rangers, they have us get access to a spell called Goodberry. And Goodberry, for all intents and purposes, is better Cure Wounds. It's Cure Wounds that you get 10 times, because it's taking 10 creatures that could be on 0 and putting them up, and you can divvy that up amongst whoever you'd like. You can give it to a familiar to administer, which is really good. If your wizard has a familiar and you cast Goodberry, give them a small pouch full of them, and then you have a remote accessible way for another entity, not even spending actions, making it better than healing word in some instances, to get creatures off of 0 back into the fight, spending more actions to kill things. There are better healing options ubiquitously across this game that mean you don't need to take Cure Wounds. If you're getting Cure Wounds for free, if it's like a domain spell for you, if you're a Circle of Wildfire Druid, if you're a Life Domain Cleric, a Celestial Warlock, whatever, and you get it for free, fine. You probably shouldn't also be doubling up with healing word. You probably don't need to be doubling up with healing word. You probably would rather have proactive spells like I talked about prior, spells that help you engage with the world, engage with combat in different ways. If you're getting it for free, sure. If you're not getting it for free, if you have to prepare this, if you have to learn this, don't. Do not do it. It is not worth your actions. It is not worth your spell slots. I want to be clear with this one, because this one is a very common one that I see a lot of people get frustrated with, because they're like, oh my God, I just waited 20 minutes. Now it's my turn, and I'm just going to Cure Wounds, and then it's going to be my turn's over again, and you didn't get to do anything with it. You didn't get to help contribute in another meaningful way. It is not fun. Don't take Cure Wounds.
Okay, there you have it.
1 out of 5. Garbage.
1 out of 5. I'm going to give it a 2.
Bob, no.
Don't
listen to Bob. Listeners at home, ignore him. He's wrong. Don't put this spell on your character sheet unless you absolutely have to for, I don't know, like someone's got a gun to your head. There's no reason to do it otherwise.
Yeah. All right, fine. I'll give it a 1. Yeah, you're right. Don't know what I was thinking there. But I don't know. It feels like it's not completely useless, but no, but I guess it is.
In the context of having every other thing that exists with it, you don't need it.
All right. Well, commenters, argue with Sam.
Yeah, tell me I'm wrong. Let's do this thing. I haven't got an angry internet rant in a hot second.
All right. Well, that was Cure Wounds. Thank you, Sam, and thank you, everyone, for joining us. We will see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, informative, or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. You needn't smash it. A gentle tap will suffice. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out the links in the description, where you'll find my Caverns and Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels, Sam's full review of the spell, and other fun things.